Now to a legal firestorm. The U.S. Justice Department and the state of North Carolina sued each other today. At issue, the new state law that the federal government says violates the rights of transgender Americans.
A potentially epic clash over transgender rights took shape Monday after the U.S. Justice Department and North Carolina filed dueling lawsuits over the state's bathroom law.
How to balance the expectations of privacy and equality in one of the most private areas of our lives.
The Department of Justice said the law violates the federal civil rights of transgender people.
We are seeking a court order declaring HB 2's restroom restriction impermissibly discriminatory.
Defenders of the law have argued it's needed to protect people, including children, from potentially being molested in bathrooms by, for instance, men who could simply say they're women to get into women's restrooms. North Carolina's governor is asking for legal and legislative clarity.
We believe a court, rather than a federal agency, should tell our state, our nation, and employers across the country what the law requires.
There's a massive amount of money at stake. One study found that North Carolina could lose up to $4.7 billion annually in federal education funding.
This is not going to slow down. This is not going to go away.
Businesses and entertainers such as Bruce Springsteen have boycotted North Carolina in protest of the law.
Bruce Springsteen can write a song about being born in the USA, but we're here to tell you the USA is watching North Carolina, and we don't need Bruce Springsteen to come here and tell us how to operate our country.
The bill is simply about protecting the safety, the privacy, and the welfare of women, children, and citizens in North Carolina.
Several other states in recent months have proposed similar laws limiting protections for gay, bisexual, and transgender people. And the legal battle could culminate in a landmark Supreme Court decision. North Carolina's governor accused the Obama administration of rewriting federal civil rights laws to protect transgender people's access to bathrooms, locker rooms, and showers across the country. And he said because of that, this fight is now a national issue.
Meanwhile, Caitlyn Jenner, did you hear about this? She's going to pose nude.
Yes. How do we feel about that, Josh Elliott?
Well, if you're going to go for it, I mean, commitment in life is all important. I think it's why things work, if you are committed to your path.
Yeah.
And so
I want to see it, but
Caitlyn Jenner wearing a gold medal and an American flag. It's going to.
And that's it?
Yeah, celebrate the anniversary, 40th to be clear, of the World Decathlon, the Olympic Games, the gold won in 1976, the Montreal Summer Games. It'll be the first time this 66-year-old, of course, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, poses with this medal.
Posing nude with the flag and the medal. Let's see. I don't know.
All right, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about Facebook. There are reports that Facebook has been omitting conservative news topics from its trending list. What are the implications, considering this is an election year and a lot of people, they get their news from Facebook?
Now to Brooklyn, New York, where an 11-year-old has been charged with a hate crime. He was caught on camera setting fire to a Jewish school bus. Take a look at this security video showing 5 children running into the bus with pieces of cardboard. Flames appear at the front of the bus as the kids run away. You're going to see the flames in just a moment when you see the kids rush into the bus there. Police were able to capture one of the boys, who was arrested, then released to his mother. His fate will be decided later in family or juvenile court. Cops are still searching for 4 other boys who were involved.
Millions of stolen emails and website credentials are being traded in Russia's criminal market. That's according to Reuters. Security experts report that close to 272 million usernames and passwords were stolen from websites like Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft. It's said to be one of the biggest stashes of stolen credentials uncovered since cyber attacks hit major U.S. banks and retailers 2 years ago. Security researchers made the discovery after finding a young Russian hacker selling the information in an online forum for less than $1.
Europol, the EU's law enforcement agency, estimates that more than 90% of refugees entering the EU are smuggled in by criminal gangs, and 35% of those refugees are children. Most shockingly of all, Europol says that 10,000 refugee children have gone missing in the EU, and the number is rising all the time. The issue has just been debated in the European Parliament.
I point the finger at our governments who have the political responsibility in particular for failing miserably our duties to protect any children.
It is feared that many of the missing refugee children are being subjected to sexual exploitation and slave labour at the hands of criminal gangs operating in the EU. Experts have told MEPs that police in the EU do not have sufficient training to deal with the missing children issue. Proper electronic records of children are not being taken, and often unaccompanied refugee children are not given appropriate accommodation.
There are reports that indicate that the proportion of children that go missing from foster care and small family units is much lower compared to the reception centres and institutions.
Members of the public told us that the missing children issue has arisen because EU leaders have mismanaged the refugee crisis.
I think there's a lot of bickering in between countries about what needs to be done and what they are actually doing, and I think we're mismanaging the whole crisis. That's a fair point.
Je pense que 10 millions d'enfants.
It is really hard to watch on TV the images of so many people arriving on dangerous boats. The figure of 10,000 missing children is shocking. It is obvious that the EU needs to do more.
At a performance for foreign press and some student seat fillers, children showcased their talents. At first glance, this could be a kids' show anywhere in the world. But a closer look reveals uniquely North Korean characteristics. In her solo, this little girl sings, "I love the Marshal Kim Jong-un the best." The show closed with a rousing rendition of "We Will Only Follow Kim Jong-un." It's a theme of their daily lives. We met 14-year-old Lee Yun-kwung studying embroidery at a Pyongyang Children's Center. The Honorable Kim Jong-un is our eternal father, she told us. The indoctrination starts early. The party line is pushed in nursery rhymes at this preschool. These are the children of the farmers who live here. They spent the morning singing songs, praising the country's leaders. You can see their photos up on the wall. From the time they're born, North Korea's children look up to larger-than-life images of leaders past and present. Every child we met treated us nicely, but in school they're taught to hate so-called American imperialists. Take this photo, showing a kindergartner wielding a toy gun at an American soldier. We asked 12-year-old Joe Daibung what he'd learned about the United States. The U.S. has had ambitions to invade our country for more than 100 years, he said. They continue to bring us great misery. I do not like the United States. North Korea provides universal education through high school and boasts a literacy rate of 100% for those over 15. But many children here suffer harsh realities. The World Food Program says a third are so malnourished, their growth is stunted.
Heiko Maas, the German Federal Minister of Justice, got an earful of the voice of the German people while speaking at a May Day celebration. The German people chant, "You leftist rat," and "traitor." Maas says, "No, we're here to stay. We aren't going anywhere." The chants of "traitor" and "get out" become stronger and louder. But Maas fires back, threatening, "We will also take care of the interests of those people shouting traitor right now without even knowing what's happening to them." The chants continue as Maas says, "Shout all you want. The longer you shout, the longer I shall stand here." Finally, he leaves the podium as they chant, "Traitor, get out." Leaving the Germans to chant, "We are the people." Heiko Maas, yet another arrogant globalist tool from the Merkel regime, the same man that introduced a 2015 law known as Data Stolen Goods, a law described by Berlin District Court Judge Ulf Burmeier as an anti-whistleblower law intended to deal a mighty blow to democracy and freedom of speech, where in Germany, Xenophobia and racism is now a punishable crime. Furthermore, Moss is now calling for a legal ban on sexist advertisements. Germany, well known for its liberal attitude towards adult entertainment, is now being forced to scale back its culture in order to appease the wishes of the growing Muslim refugee population exploding within Germany. Meanwhile, the German people are being held captive by the ungrateful foreign invaders and their own treasonous government.
Die kommen hierher und wir dürfen nicht mehr lang gehen. Junge, du aus Dinger raus hier.
Sohn, so wie der aussieht, als Einzelfall wieder in eine Schublade gepackt wird von 20.000 anderen. Weil so machen die das nämlich. Alles klein halten, nichts in die Öffentlichkeit.
William F. Jasper of the New American writes, "The migration tsunami that swamped Europe with 1.5 million refugees in 2015 is roaring back with a tidal wave that may be double the size of last year's deluge. In fact, most citizens of the European Union countries appear to be unaware that their unelected and unaccountable rulers at the European Commission in their own European Economic Forecast report issued last fall announced precisely that. That is, they projected with apparent acceptance and approval that 3 million refugee migrants would arrive in Europe in 2016. Time is running out. The globalists have all but achieved their soft invasion of Europe, and that planned gridlock of civilization is heading in your general direction. As I speak, thousands of unvetted refugees are filing into small towns across the United States via what will be known later as a broken vetting process. A process that should have taken 2 years has now been reduced to a few pointless months. It's Obama's turn, and he aims to match Merkel's numbers.
How do you think the president would explain to Mrs. Merkel about his inability to have that happen here in the United States when Germany's taken in close to, I think, maybe 1 million people?
Well, again, I think the president, when he travels to Germany, will be prepared to tell her that he's prepared to meet the goal.
That seems like it might be a little embarrassing to not be able to admit 10,000 people into your country.
But Ron, I'm not willing to say that we're not going to hit the goal.